京新增一例新冠确诊病例，汉沽市民全员连夜做核酸检测。
9日24时起，将滨海新区汉沽街、中心渔港冷链物流区 A 区和 B 区划定为中风险地区。天津市其他区风险等级不变。6市对中风险地区全部人员开展核酸检测。广大群众要积极配合街道、社区组织的健康排查和核酸检测工作。
哎，这边的对象有这儿啊。411、123。这个疫情就是来个上太多了，你还几个人哈？我们多人。
中共国多地冷链食品包装呈阳性，北京疾控发布实用提醒。云南出现2名免级无症状感染者，66所学校暂停返校，师生居家隔离。安徽颍上县确诊1例新冠肺炎病例，系上海确诊病患密切接触者。
90% is a game changer. 90% now you are hoping to have a tool in your war against this pandemic that could be significantly effective. I think the vaccine will be available for free to all American citizens. I believe most countries will do the same. We are giving it to the government at quite low price. So I think every American will have access to it.
在屋里住着，听着3声爆炸声，然后就看到这个蘑菇云升天了。
辽宁鞍山一工厂发生爆炸，蘑菇云直冲云霄。
这个是轻微的爆炸，没有什么没有火灾，没有人员伤亡。一个军旅车间发生轻微的爆炸事故，正在调查。
有害肢体啊那些呢？
没有，都没有。
厦门沧海大桥突发大火，城管入室暴力执法，怒抢女士手机，强制拍摄。
没有钱有被女的死的时候。有啥事我有事儿，我有啥事你有事儿啊？哎呀，妈呀！你为什么不管他？
继英国之后，瑞典成为又一个将华为等中共企业排除在外的欧洲国家。中共银行不良贷款创近3年新高，金额超过去8年总和。巴西卫生机构暂停中共疫苗试验，汪文斌回应有关事件与疫苗无关。加国总理特鲁多指责中共任意拘押加国公民搞胁迫外交，汪文斌回应乱扣帽子。 美国制裁4名中港官员，港行政官张建宗回应美国干涉中港内政。美国因国安法制裁4名中共官员，汪文斌回应美方应立即撤销制裁。香港同胞大难当前，依然上街支持川普，坚挺美国。美国海军抵台，连续4周实战操演。
We're going to win this election. We've actually won it. Just a matter of counting the votes fairly.
That is former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani last week launching a legal war on behalf of his client, the President of the United States. He joins us live right now. He's President Trump's personal attorney. Mr. Mayor, you are leading the president's legal team in disputing results from several key states. I want to show everyone, including Arizona, Michigan, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada. What are you working on with this team this morning, and what's the game plan for this week?
Well, the game plan for this week is to first to file lawsuits. First one that we'll file is today in the state of Pennsylvania, challenging the entire vote in Pennsylvania on a number of grounds. Let me emphasize the fact that the fake media has for some time said there's no evidence. We've been putting evidence on television every day, including the day after the election.
U.S. President Donald Trump fired Defense Secretary Mark Esper in a tweet on Monday, and he appointed Christopher Miller, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, as the acting defense secretary. There had been speculation since June that Esper could be terminated for having opposing Trump over the sending of military troops to control demonstrations against police brutality.
Miranda, it's yours. Bring us up to date. Where are we? What are your views? Where do you think it's going to end?
Well, look, you can't count out Donald Trump quite yet. Pennsylvania Real Clear Politics, which is the amalgam of polls, still has that as a toss-up, which means that Joe Biden is not up to 270 votes. And Donald Trump's campaign has got lawsuits flying all over the place in all these swing states where these voting irregularities and allegations of fraud have occurred. Quite serious allegations, all sorts, ranging from vote counters from the Republican Party not allowed to come in and watch the vote counting as they're entitled to by law. You've had batches of ballots show up in the middle of the night and suddenly the counts are changed. A lot of very dodgy behaviour, and America is not a stranger to election fraud. So we'll see where that all pans out. Donald Trump is a fighter, as you know, and he really owes it to the 71 million Americans who voted for him.
Raheem.
I've just been told by our helper, Rebecca, as well, that we need to plug the Parler account. War and Pandemic is on Parler as well.
Okay.
86,000 followers, so you can make sure you get all the... And she live tweets the show from there as well, so you're going to want to make sure you tune into that.
Fantastic. Let's go to... I want to go... Jack Maxey, by the way, we got major pandemic news in the next hour. People keep telling me over the weekend, take it down, change it to something else. No. Pandemic, still here, right? Trust me. You got Cuomo, you got the vaccine, you're going to have is the vaccine right, you got what China, we got the mail-in ballots. The whole mail-in ballots, the whole architecture of this is a subset of what the CCP did, which nobody still wants to talk about, but we're going to talk about. What do you got?
No. I mean, we've got the vaccine and stuff coming out. We've got some things to talk about. I think we're going to play some clips from Cuomo going forward. But I will say we've still got the hashtag War Room Pandemic Posse still going hard.
Let's hear it. We need to see hard.
And hear from Pebbles. Hashtag War Room Pandemic. The deplorables are here. We will not be silenced. We will not stop. We stand for liberty and justice for all. And in the end, God will win. Be not afraid.
Listen, here's why this is so important. You changed world history in 16. This is the 4th anniversary. This is our 4th anniversary show. 2:30 in the morning in 2016, Donald Trump, became president-elect of the United States, right? All those votes were eventually certified. Now, two faithless electors ended up not voting for him, so our 306, I think, went to 304. But this is the 4th anniversary of this. You changed world history on November 3rd. 71 million people. We got 62.5. Basically, our demographics showed that I think 2 million of ours died or went to nursing homes. So I always consider we started a base at 60. That means we brought 10.5 million people out to vote. This was not a repudiation of Trump. This is not a repudiation of Trump. You're more powerful than ever. Why do you think they want to crush you? Why do you think they want to break your spirit? You have changed world history. Now, why do you think they're trying to crush this show? Because we link you with Lao Beijing, old 100 names, the deplorables of China. This is a global movement. This is why half of our audience is international. This is why we want to thank GTV and G News that helps get us out throughout the world, right? And you see these comments that come in from people that are deplorables in every nation on earth. And they want to fight. And remember, this election was not just the most important election in American history. It was the most important in 5,000 years of Chinese history. That's why so many Chinese from the diaspora, would come into this show. That's why we do this show every day. That's why this show is as relevant in Phoenix, Arizona, we're going to go to in a second, as it is in New Zealand, as it is in Europe, as it is in Italy and North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, India, Hong Kong, Taiwan. Why does everybody throughout the world listen and watch this show, from hedge fund managers to the thought police at Media Matters to political operatives to old 100 names in Wuhan, who, remember, we had a whole show of Wuhan people who were crying for help back a couple of months ago, back in the middle, not a couple of months ago, back in the beginning. Remember, we're the first show ever to do pandemic. People mocked us. People ridiculed us. I'm talking about mainstream media. When we started this in January. You guys are a bunch of nutcases. I said, I think this changes world history, which it did. But we're winning. More importantly, you're winning. That's what they're taking the show down, not because of Raheem and Steve Bannon. We're just clowns, bozos that do this every day. It's you. It's you. The two most important interviews we've had on this since the election day both came from the guy that's out there in Phoenix, Ben Bergquam. He did a package of some guy out there in Phoenix with a beard. Looks like a guy you do not want to give stink eye to in a bar. And he was the most eloquent about what the system was and why this had to work. And then the woman who came up and said, this is bigger than Trump. This is more important than Trump. This is about the Constitution. She was saying this a week before Mark Levin. I know Mark Levin was saying the entire time, but my point is, Mark Levin is one of the most serious constitutional lawyers and scholars we have. This is just some woman who's a deplorable with a red MAGA hat on. That's what this fight's about. Before we go to Phoenix and the state capitol, Maggie, what do you got for us? Maggie Vanderberg, one of the top influencers, conservative influencers. Here is our co-host.
Well, I just wanted to remind everyone that the markets are pumping with the announcement of this vaccine, and global stocks have surged. We've got 2 drug companies have announced that their coronavirus vaccine is 90% effective in tests. Right now, currently, the Dow is up about 4% or 1,100 points. NASDAQ up 1.14%. S&P up 2.85%.
Remember, one of the reasons it's up, and we're going to get this thing for the crowd out there that may say, this was a little quick. Dr. Yan's not a big name in this vaccine. We'll get into all that. I know there's a lot of people out there say, hey, you're not going to shoot me up with this thing. We'll get into all those details as we go forward. One of the reasons the market's on fire, let's be brutally frank, the party of Davos has popped the champagne. They've got rid of Trump, right? And they got Mitch and to control the Senate, what they call split government. They're all in love with split government now, right? This is because they don't want the Democrats to do any of the radical stuff. The bottom line is they want to be back in business with the Chinese Communist Party. That's why the market's up. They want to be bad. They think the party's going to roll because all of a sudden you don't have to listen to Peter Navarro and you don't have to listen to Bob Lighthouse. That crazy Bannon is not relevant anymore. We're back in business. The champagne's popping from Beijing to the City of London to Wall Street to all the corporate suites, all the C-suites. They're high-fiving, right? Got to get Mitch to control because we don't want too crazy, right? We don't want AOC in our life. So that's what we got to do. That's what the scam is. Of course it's up. And now they got the vaccine. Of course, Drudge has got to have the headline. The vaccine thing was not part of Trump's program. Got to put that in there, right? Can't give Trump any credit whatsoever. Matt Drudge, you're a disgrace.
Well, and also even Pfizer is announcing all of this. 1 week after the election,
1 week,
right?
No conspiracy, but there are no
I have a doctor in Scotland who just wrote to me, and he said, you realize that part of Biden's health team wrote to Pfizer in advance in October and said, please delay the notification of the vaccine.
你们没有想到这件事情副作用太大了，共产党这件事上是赢了，这么便宜的就有出来这么个傻货傻总统。你以为按摩棒把自己弄高潮了，你以为真跟天使做爱了呢？这么聪明啊？完了，这回是魔鬼。台湾人民说实在话，你拿1000亿美元再来买武器，你都换不回来这里边的一个零头对美国人的伤害。未来的10年到20年，美国的政治、美国的法律、美国的国防、美国的国际战略，地域政治，我可以告诉大家，所有人都记住，一定是以亚洲为核心。过去在今年以前，美国人的核心利益、海外利益还是欧洲，是北约，就没人想改过，也没人改。但是就这次大选之后，美国的核心利益和它的国际战略一定是亚洲。你说你台湾这时候干这个愚蠢的事情，香港人民非常聪明，打出了美国国旗。川普总统现在感觉到对香港有点愧疚了，要对香港做点实在事儿了。这2天，香港人民会大赢。你说你台湾你着什么急呀？
随着欧洲大陆第2波感染浪潮的继续，欧洲国家正在推出越来越严格的限制措施。路透社统计，美国因感染病毒而住院的人数激增至59000名的最新纪录。巴西卫生监督局暂停了中国疫苗的3期试验。辉瑞公司称，早期分析显示其疫苗有效率为90%。美国卫生官员允许紧急使用第1种单克隆抗体药物，以帮助免疫系统抵抗病毒。乌克兰总统泽连斯基宣布他的病毒检测呈阳性，他说他的健康状况良好。美国联邦航空局进入波音737 MAX 飞机审查的最后阶段。川普总统解雇国防部长马克·埃斯珀，国家反恐中心主任克里斯托弗·米勒将出任代理国防部部长。
Dear mama, are you okay over there? Your son is crying and missing you, and sees you in his dreams. You said take down the CCP, cause it's God's will, it's God's will. So I'll wait for you, and I'll see you when we end the CCP, yeah. So